Well, Jets fans, it's official. The Aaron Rodgers is going to be a New York Jet. We got news today of Aaron Rodgers going to be traded from the Green Bay Packers to the New York Jets. And I wanted to talk to our New York Post NFL reporter, Ryan Dunleavy. Ryan, how you doing, man?
Good. It's exciting times.
It is exciting time. So I wanted to ask your initial reaction here when you saw the notification that Aaron Rodgers is actually going to be traded to the New York Jets. What'd you think?
I thought that it made sense. It was the NFL draft kind of was the deadline everybody expected. The Packers obviously wanted compensation this year to get the most evaluation out of Jordan Love, get him the most help right now. So they know the Jets wanted Rodgers here to start learning the playbook and maybe be part of the on-field work in May. So this was the deadline. If it got past Friday, that's when I really would have worried that a team like the 49ers or somebody else was going to sneak in. Jets had to get it done before the Jets and Packers both had to get it done before Friday.
You're absolutely right. And obviously, when we heard Aaron Rodgers actually say, my intentions are to play for the New York Jets back on the Pat McAfee show back in March, a lot of Jets fans got excited, but we had to wait to see this, how this trade was eventually going to come through. And like you said, it had to get done this week. So the official details of the trade are Aaron Rodgers and goes to the New York Jets. The Jets trade pick number 13 in the first round, and they swap first round picks with the Packers, who have the 15th pick. So Aaron Rodgers and the 15th overall pick in the first round this year, and a 2023 fifth round pick go to the Jets, and the Packers receive not only number 13, but they get a second round pick from this year, number 42 overall, a sixth round pick, and a conditional 2024 second round pick that becomes a first if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the plays this upcoming season. When you heard those details, how did you see how this trade played out for both teams?
I thought the Jets gave up a ton, and I get it. Like they're in win now mode, and they got the Hall of Fame quarterback, and they really had no other option. So I get it. But if you really believe they were bidding against themselves here, then they gave up a ton. Even if they weren't, I think they gave up a ton. 2 points. One, I'll start with the lesser one. Number one, they went back from 13 to 15, which might have just cost themselves the offensive tackle that everybody thought they were going to get in the first round, because the Packers are in line for an offensive tackle. So the Packers might take that Broderick Jones or Paris Johnson Jr. or Peter Skoronski at 13. And then who are the Jets picking at 15? Darnell Wright? That's a step down, in my opinion. And then the main takeaway, obviously, is next year's 2024 second round pick that becomes a first round pick if Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps. That is not tied in any way to Aaron Rodgers' future, which means Aaron Rodgers could play the majority of games, whether the Jets win, lose, whether they end up with a high draft pick, a low draft pick, and then walk away after next year, and the Jets don't have their 2024 draft pick to replace him. I thought, to me, I expected this trade to be tied the 2024 compensation in some way to not just Aaron Rodgers, not
Playing,
just
but
his
the performance of the
playing,
team, right?
correct, but the performance of the team, and whether, yes, thank you, and whether the Jets made the playoffs or whether they won the Super Bowl or number of win total, and then to his status going forward, whether he returned in 2024 would bump it up from like a third to a second, something like that. So not having any guarantee that Rodgers is going to play beyond next season other than his word would very much scare me if I'm a Jets fan.
Well, I think a lot of people can also argue too that you are going all in for that Super Bowl run, right? And if you do make the playoffs and you win a playoff game or two, that first round pick really won't be a high pick if you really value it that way. So there could be that argument there too. Finally, now that Aaron Rodgers is going to be a New York Jet, Ryan, I wanted to ask you, I know Adam Schefter reported there's going to be a ton of primetime games for the Jets this schedule upcoming season. But when you look at this team right now, as it's currently constructed with Aaron Rodgers now, where do you see this team going? How do you see it performing, and how do you see it playing out this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the four best teams in the AFC. I mean, there's no reason they should not be competing in that that second weekend of the playoffs. Right there with, the Chiefs are still better. The Bills might still be better. The Bengals are probably still better, but they're right there. They're in that next group. So I would tell you the Bengals and the Chiefs are the class of the AFC, and the Jets are right there. The Jets are right there with the Dolphins or the Chargers.
The
Yeah, the
Bills.
Bills. Yeah, they're right there. So it's not Super Bowl or bust, but it's probably AFC Championship or bust. It's probably 12 wins or bust. It's contention, belief in late January or bust.
Well, we're all going to see how it all plays out for this upcoming draft this week. Obviously, the Jets are now picking at 15 instead of 13, but Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet officially. Ryan, thank you so much for giving us all your analysis, man.
Thanks for having me.